It's power rankings time. It's the US men's national team we're looking at now. Rather you than me, Janusz, because this is really difficult to pick, especially because we're only allowing you to pick three for your power rankings. It's your top three right now. We know that there's quite the pool of players, particularly in Europe when it comes to US players. You used to play for the US, so you're much better equipped than I am to do this. So in at number three, you've gone for the American dream, Gio Reyna. Tell us why.
Well, the good news is that I actually have plethora of players that are doing well at big clubs, right? I mean, if you asked me that same question a few years back, I don't know if I come up with top three. So it's all good news for US national team and of course the fans as well. Giovanni Reina, I think, is superb. And again, with those three, I could have flip-flopped those positions very, very easily. It's difficult to justify why one is number three and not, the other is two or one. But, since we have to pick it, Giovanni Reina has been absolutely outstanding. At his age, at 17, I mean, not only does he play all the time, I mean, he's made, I think it's, all 6 Champions League appearances. Of course, he's been scoring 3 goals, 5 assists in the Bundesliga. You could see his partnership with Erling Haaland is tremendous and is blossoming. And I do understand that Borussia Dortmund do give young players an opportunity, but I think he's earned it. And he's at the moment the sort of player that picks himself there. Just imagine. And most importantly is the way he plays, because the statistics are deceptive, but he plays like a 25, 26-year-old player, good composure, intelligent, just like his dad, Claudio Reyna, my former teammate, but even almost a little bit to the next level. I don't know if Claudio will appreciate me saying that. I'm sure he will. So I've been very, very impressed with his play, even though Borussia Dortmund have not been firing on all cylinders, but he, at his young age, I think has been steady Eddie, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. So in at number two, you've gone for a player at Barcelona, Sergino Dest. Tell us why he's in at number two.
Well, first of all, because he is at Barcelona, it makes no difference to me, what some think at the moment of Barcelona. Obviously, this is not the team that was winning every trophy possible not that long ago, but it's still Barcelona. It still has players like Busquets and Messi and Piqué and Ansu Fati, young players coming on the scene, and Pedri, who's been very, very good. So I'm not saying it's the same. Maybe it's being reborn. A lot depends on Lionel Messi. But look, for Sergino Dest to come in by hook or crook, I mean, he did get a chance because Sergio Roberto's been injured, but he took that opportunity full on. And again, playing and scoring in the Champions League, I think he started 5 out of 6 or played in 5 out of 6 in the Champions League, scored against Kiev. And the only reason that he's at number 2 for me and not at number 1 is because, look, he's playing with Lionel Messi. A little bit of tiny advice from me to him. Look, if I were him and I had the ball, I wouldn't pass to anybody but Lionel Messi, who very often plays in front of him. Just do that. Your stats are going to go way high because the stats in La Liga aren't great, right? If you think of, and Kay, you would know that even better than I would, because you follow La Liga for many, many years as well. Remember Dani Alves? I mean, that combination play was absolutely outstanding. That overlapping right fullback. I bet you if you ask Messi, if you wanted to bring back Dani Alves right now, he still would have done it. I think 43 assists in his career to him, only Iniesta with 44 and Luis Suarez with 54. So the message from Sergino Dest is, if you want to be on the coveted list of mine, at number 1, just give him the ball at all times and come on. So Sergino Dest, yeah, absolutely outstanding. This is a massive club to come in and play like that and show maturity and quality is incredible. So very, very happy with the way he's been playing so far.
And maybe another reason he's not in at number 1 is because the person who is in at number 1 arguably has to be there for so many right now. For you, definitely, Weston McKennie at Juventus.
Yes. And as I said, it was a very small margin. They're all at massive clubs, but I just think the transition for Weston, the way he came from Schalke, who has struggled so greatly as we've seen, and being in the defensive role, not really being allowed to do what he likes to do, which is box to box, which is very often going forward, right? I think he's thriving in that. And again, I think he had to, well, as always, you have to convince the manager, Kate, don't you? When you go to a big club like that, And it seems that he had to. He was in and out early. I think he's the one that picks himself right now. You can see how much he enjoys going forward, how much he enjoys playing for Juventus. And again, his numbers are pretty good. They escape me at the moment. But, I think 2 goals, 2 assists, which is very good. Unfortunately, got injured in the last game against Sassuolo early on. Hopefully, it's nothing serious there for him. But again, I think he's the sort of player that, Juventus have always been famous for, big midfielders, the Pirlo, the Pogba, the Vidals, the other version of Arturo Vidal, even though this one is still okay. So I just think that the leap from that Schalke team to this one, how he's improving from game to game and convincing Andrea Pirlo has been spectacular to me. And he does it all. He can defend, he can attack, he's good on set pieces, just marginally a little bit better. I think if Sergino Dest had more assists with Messi right next to him, I would have probably given it to him.
Well, it is the power rankings, and obviously Weston McKennie's definitely been making waves. It does look as though he will be available for the Derby d'Italia this weekend, and it's not too severe, that injury. But there's a few names that you didn't put in here, and I'd like to ask you about those. First of all, Christian Pulisic, why isn't he in the top 3?
Well, I think he's been inconsistent. Part of it is injuries, and all players go through that, I suppose. But I think, he... I look at his season so far. He's played enough. Just 1 goal, though. I don't think of him as a goal scorer per se, but I think he needs to be more dangerous. I think Chelsea are in a difficult position right now. I think there's a massive competition in terms of places, because in the positions that he's played, there's so many players, and I almost would have wanted him to answer the critics like he did when he got there, right? Where everybody, maybe including Frank Lampard, weren't sure what his standing within the team will be. So just looking at the other players, they're more consistent. I think they make a bigger difference for their teams. And Christian Pulisic was absolutely outstanding. We were raving about him last year. I think he can still get to that point, Kay, but at the moment, I think he would. I think most would agree that he's outside of the 3 that I've mentioned.
Yeah, John Brooks almost made it in there, didn't he?
I really wanted to, because he's almost a little bit of a forgotten man, and he's finally healthy, and he's playing a massive role in Wolfsburg. I think they're 6th right now. He's played in 15 games, I think, out of 17, which is very good, because he's had history of injuries as well. And it's kind of almost forgotten, because the big names with the massive clubs come to mind first. But let's not forget that he's probably one of the most important players on the U.S. national team, and one of the first picks in terms of a center back. We're still kind of looking for his partner. I think there are more names coming out, and some of them are moving to Europe. But I don't want to say that he paved the way for these young players, but he sort of did. That particular generation of young players, John Brooks has been there for a little bit, and I think his consistency is good, and I really, really wanted to squeeze him in that top 3, but just others wouldn't allow me to do it.
Yes, sadly, we didn't give you a top 6, because maybe Tyler Adams would have been in there.
Yes. Again, Tyler, outstanding player. I still think he needs to convince Julian Nagelsmann. He hasn't been starting a lot. He's kind of all over the place. I feel for him a little bit, because I think before Nagelsmann came in, he was truly playing in the center of the pitch where he enjoys playing. Since then, he's been a right back, right wing back. He's even played a game or 2 at center back as well. So it's good to know that he can do that, but I don't know that he wants to be the jack of all trades. He's a master of one, and that position is in the center of the midfield. And recently, last couple of games, he's featured there. So hopefully next time we get to this, Kay, he will be in the top 3.
Yeah, and it can only be a good thing that you're wondering which players to put in there. That's only a good thing for the future of the US men's national team right now.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.